I think this new Edge Mustang GT is cursed. Now, my brother bought this car from the original owner back in 2022, and it just had 116,000 miles on it, and just a few thousand miles later, it blew a head gasket. My brother spent a small fortune getting this thing fixed, and tons of stuff changed out, and it just always, just little things keep going on with this car, which I know at this point it's a 23-year-old car, but just little things that I've not had go wrong on other new Edge Mustangs, they just keep happening. And today, I thought my engine was about to lock up. Let me show y'all what it was doing. I was like, oh man, I just bought this thing a couple thousand miles ago, and here it goes, gonna lock up the engine. Let's take a look at what this thing's doing. So as you can see in that video, at idle and at low RPMs, the engine is showing that it does not have oil pressure. Now the in-dash gauge is a dummy gauge, so it's always going to show 3/4 on the gauge if you have 6 PSI or more of oil pressure. If it drops below 6 PSI, it's going to drop to 0 like you have no oil pressure. So as you can see in the video, once the RPMs get up just a little bit, the oil pressure comes back. So my first thought is, okay, this tracks. This is acting like an engine would, you know, if it had low oil pressure. And so I limped the car home, and I've got it up here on the jack. So we're going to take a look at the oil pressure sending unit. Fingers crossed that there's something up with it. That is my hope. But like I said, you know, the gauge is showing oil pressure once you give it a little gas. So it really could be low oil pressure. I'm so hopeful it's not. So let's look. Up under the car, it is clear to see that oil is leaking from somewhere. So I'm going to fire up the car and see if I can't pinpoint from where. So I've got the old sensor cleaned off, and as y'all saw in the video, it really truly was leaking a good bit, and that can cause these issues, you know, whenever you have oil pressure just leaking out, so it's giving a faulty reading. So hopefully this little $36 part will be all that's needed to fix this car. So let's go ahead and put it on. I've actually never changed one of these out on a new Edge Mustang, so I'm hoping a bunch of oil does not just pour out, which I'm kind of thinking it might. Okay, I'm going to be careful, because if it starts pouring out, this is going to burn. A little. I'm going to go ahead and get the other sensor ready. I may not be able to show this next part. Alright, so I did catch it before too much oil spilled. This one, the nut size is ever so slightly bigger than my wrench, than the one that I used for taking the old one off. Alright, we're going to fire it up. And everything's back under. Looking pretty good and cleaned up there. Plugged back in. Before anybody says anything about not using jacks, truth is, you know, I only raised it up about 6 inches, so there's really nothing that would crush me where I was, so it just would be uncomfortable, but that's about it. Okay, so we know the gauge is working. It'll probably take about 10 minutes or so before the oil is hot enough. I put a little more in too, so there's a little bit of cold oil in there. So I'll be back with y'all here in a few minutes. Y'all hear she sounds so healthy. So that's the first thing I thought. I was like, man, if this thing really was low oil pressure, you think I would have heard something. Let's see if it's leaking or anything out of here. So we might as well just take a look at this old sensor. You can see it was just leaking right in there. I don't know what causes that. Must just be, I guess, it almost looks like it's soldered in there or something. Maybe just over time it gets a little bit loose, allows a little leak. Well, I got you here. Check out this Victor Jr. I just picked up. Oh man, that thing's sweet. So here we are idling in gear after about a 10-minute drive and AC off. So this is about the lowest it'll idle. And as you can see, the oil pressure gauge has not fluctuated at all. I guess this 2-valve, it ain't heard no bell yet. And hopefully it'll keep on keeping on. Thank y'all for watching.